Lamar is back in good old Utah, and things get really shaky for Lacey and Shane. Stay tuned. You're watching Life After Lockup here at AfterBuzz TV.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Bum, bum, bum,
Hi,
bum, 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 bum. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back, everybody.
What's up?
Kittie, Kaboom, and Alexis is here.
Happy 20, Give me a high five. And we're high fiving because it is Bree's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is another episode of Life After Lockup here at AfterBuzz TV. You guys already know I'm your host, Breanna, Chianne, and I'm here with Kittie Kaboom.
Yeah, baby.
With the
Happy
special
birthday,
segments. Thank you, babe. I appreciate it. Kittie got me fish and macaroni and cheese.
That's love.
And wine.
Yes.
Okay.
I love her.
And Alexis is back.
Hello. Happy New Year. Happy New Decade.
Happy New Decade.
My first show back in 2020.
I know, fresh hairdo.
Yes.
It was all different.
Thank you, guys.
Show it
With
all.
the waves. I see you, boy. I see you.
So Alexis always has the news. So
Yes.
of course, before we get to any of that, we have a lot to get into with these couples. We've got Shane and Lacey moved into their new house. Meghan and Michael are back on that BS. Sarah comes into like some really heavy terms when it comes on to Michael and his shenanigans behind her back, and a lot more. So let's start off with what we thought about the episode, guys.
I thought of all the episodes we've seen, it was a little yawn, but not like full blown.
Really?
I did enjoy it, and I will say this: I am glad that some of the choices that these ladies are making are being made. Let me just say, you know what I mean? I feel like for the longest time they've allowed themselves to believe a narrative that we all knew was not true. And I think they knew deep down inside that it wasn't true too. So it's nice to see kind of their glow up in one respect and then in another their understanding, their acceptance of what is. So in that respect.
Nice. I liked that,
it.
Kittie.
Thank you.
Nice.
I definitely agree. You know, I actually, I'm not saying you didn't enjoy it, but I really liked this episode.
Yeah.
The whole episode, I was thinking, man, these people are nuts. These people are crazy. But I definitely see what you're saying, and you definitely are starting to see, even from the first episode and now this episode, people are starting to realize what they've
Finally.
done. Like, oh, snap. Maybe I shouldn't have messed with this person or put myself in this situation, and they're finally not feeling regret, but they're starting to see that maybe my friends and family were right, that I should have left this person alone. So it's good to see that realization, but also sad because it's like, what's going to happen to these families, you know?
Very
Yeah.
true. You know, I didn't look at it that way because at the same time, I kind of thought the episode was pretty boring. But now that you said it like that, I do kind of look at it as a way of their reflecting on the choices that they've made.
Yeah.
So one couple that's reflecting on the choices that they made is Angela and Tony. And Angela's back on that pyro
Baby.
stuff, burning up Tony's stuff in the front lawn because she said come back before dark, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she's reached her breaking point. Well, so it seems.
So it
for
appears.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For now.
Exactly.
Do we feel a little bad for Angela
No,
yet?
not even a little bit.
Not even a little
Not
bit.
an ounce, not a little, none.
Cold-hearted.
It just didn't even... It just didn't seem believable to me. Maybe because I know they're married now. So I know they obviously work it out. She takes him back. But it just feels like a bunch of dramatics. It's like she's sitting out there and she's smoking that cigarette.
Like a soap
and she got
opera.
the fire
Yeah.
going. And it just so happens he pulls up on his motorcycle at the same time. And it just feels like I'm watching like the redneck waiting to exhale. And I just like, this is so dramatic. And it just feels over the top, and I just feel like she's putting on a show, either one for the show, or she thinks all of this dramatics is going to make him act right, which it's not. And it's just like, it's too much.
It is
It's
too much.
That was so perfect. I love it.
That's exactly what
She
it was.
said the redneck waiting to exit. Come on, y'all. It couldn't have got better than that. She hit that right on the head.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It was nonsensical, but it has been that from day one. You know what I mean? This is clearly who she is. She loved talking about how Tony needs like every time I look at her, I feel like I'm looking at like an animated little creature or something. I'm
my
sorry. She's a
gosh.
little hard on the eyes. She's difficult to watch. But I That's how I feel. I get to say that. But I will say that I have tried my best to try to see it from like her vantage point. Like, I get it. You've been dealing with this guy for a while, but he keeps showing up to be the same person. So what part of the game is that? And granted, you're not attracted to this other guy, and he's not the one for you. He's a little too nerdy. But look what the bad boy brings you.
Yeah.
Nothing but heartache and nonsense and drama. So her being dramatic, I wasn't even mad at that, because I feel like she deserves at least that much, because that's all her beau does is bring her ridiculousness for her to react to.
Well, we saw that Tony volunteered and said, I'm going to get help. I'll get help. And in most cases, when a guy volunteers to get help, you're
like,
always like, oh
yeah.
my God, that's amazing. He's self-aware. He wants to do better.
Right.
But in this case, Tony is literally just saying anything so he doesn't get locked up and get in jail, because he doesn't even know what he would get help for. He tried last season, he tried to pull, with Love After Lockup, he tried to pull the sex addiction card.
Right.
And then he has personal issues within himself, and he's just pulling at any grasping for straws, just anything that's hanging, and it's literally survival. You would think he was still locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's crazy about it is, in watching it, I didn't feel like he was doing this because he genuinely wanted to be with her and would lose her. It's just because he needs somewhere to live.
That's what it all boils down to.
She's gonna have to buy him some more pants because she burned all his clothes. He barely had anything to begin with, so it's like, I don't got no house, I ain't got no pants. Like, somebody got to take care of me, and it's like she thinks he's doing it for her, but because he's
she couldn't possibly think that after all this time.
She thinks that.
She does, because she doesn't know the difference between love and lust. She really thinks she loves Tony. They know nothing about each other to really say I love you.
To solidify any type of sentiment like that.
Tony has shown no type of respect, no type of remorse for anything that he's done.
This is
and
true.
Angela continuously takes him back, and she has nothing to really back up and say why she feels so connected to this man.
Exactly. There is no connection except the fact, like you said, it's pure lust. From day one.
For her part, not his.
Right.
Yeah.
From day one, that's all she said. He's so fine. And he's so... I mean, he could not have been in that car longer than 5 minutes before she was all over the chest. But baby girl, you literally asked that man what he'd rather have. He told you to your face he'd rather have a steak than your mouth. And you still was cool with that.
Mouth.
I mean, that's what was happening, right? Let's call it what it is. I just think it kind of breaks my heart a little bit for her. I don't really feel for her, because I feel like a grown-ass woman should know better than that. She's been through I don't. Like, I just don't think the experiences that she's had in her lifetime, because age is really irrelevant at some point. You know what I mean? You can be however old, but if you haven't experienced life, then what do you know? But she's experienced some life. And this man continuously does the same thing. Like, I just don't see what she thinks is the end game.
Yeah.
I know that no one deserves to be cheated on with prostitutes. I feel for her with that situation. But you brought up an interesting point, Kittie, when it comes on to, like you said, when someone shows you who they are, you take that. Because Meghan's dad brought that up when her conversation with Meghan and Michael.
Nice segue.
Thank you. Thanks, AfterBuzz.
We're experts here.
Yes. Shout out to AfterBuzz.
So Meghan's dad brought that up when it came onto their relationship, and Meghan's just riding hard for Michael. One thing that really struck a nerve with me is when he asked her why she loves him, and he said, I want you to have a man that doesn't have kids. And she said, well, one reason I really love him is because of what a dedicated father he is. Then you look at Sarah.
Literally, they should have cut to Sarah's scene at that minute.
And I cackled real loud at that moment.
Yeah, and that's another example of you not really knowing who you
think you girl,
love and
you're
lust.
trying to sell this to your dad. You live under this man's roof. You better listen to your father, because guess what? If it was not for him paying the rent, you wouldn't even have a place to stay. And you really want to engage in a conversation, let alone a relationship, with someone who has literally piecemealed you information in order to create I hate saying narrative, it's so overused, but whatever. The narrative that he's on the straight and narrow, that he's going to be this great person and this great dad, and girl, bye. Yeah. Like, did his wife really just pull out a phone bill and say this?
Wait, I'll get to that in a minute.
Sorry.
But Alexis, I want to know from your standpoint, what would you do if you were sitting across the table from the guy that you're in love with and your dad is right there and he literally just blatantly says, you're making a mistake, you guys shouldn't be together, like in front of your man? Like, how do you gather yourself from that? What would your mindset be?
I mean, for me with Meghan, in watching that, I'm like, does she really believe this, or is she just saving face because of her? She had the conversation with her friend in the last episode. Now it's the conversation with the dad. Does she really believe that he's a good guy and on the straight and narrow, or is she just saying anything that she needs to say so that they're gonna not like him regardless, but in her mind, so that they think of him in a better way? So I don't know if I would necessarily lie, but I don't know, because I feel like I would never be in this situation. Yeah, it's a weird situation, and I feel like he has made it so blatant.
Right.
All the crazy stuff he's done. So much so that if I'm having that conversation with my dad, I don't even feel like I can defend it.
Exactly. Why would you even allow him to come to your house knowing that your dad is going to have a sit down?
Well, she didn't know that
he was going to pop up.
Yeah, or I mean, even if he does pop up and they do have this conversation and you do want to continue to pursue this relationship in spite of all the things he's done, like I said, he's made it so blatant and it's so obvious. There's no hiding in what he's done. Why not just own up to it in front of your dad and be like, look, he did this, but as of this moment, I'm choosing to move past that, and whatever happens past this point is on me. Because if you fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. So I'm putting myself in the position where I could be hurt again or lied to again. And I'm choosing to live that life. But instead, she's defending him by basically giving lies. He's not a good dad. He's playing around on you. He's made it so clear he's not a good guy, and you're still trying to put on this narrative
right,
like he is, At
the end of the day, I think it really comes down to, again, maturity. You know what I mean? You think that you're in love with this person when, in fact, what you're in love with has nothing to do with who this person is as a human being. It's either lust, as in Tony and Angela's case, or... and I feel like a part of it for her is lust as well, but it's also really just trying to believe. You just want to believe beyond belief that this person has some redemptive qualities.
Can't force it.
She doesn't know that at this time in her life. You know what I mean? Again, age is a factor. She's young, but even more than
30.
that. Oh.
She is 30. That's a fact.
I thought she was like,
it's
22.
Still young.
It's still
but
young.
I
It's
feel
still
like you should
relatively
be at
young.
that point by then, like,
right,
okay.
to have seen.
Yeah.
But remember, she hasn't been much of a dater. This is the guy that she lost her virginity to.
True.
So you can be 30, but if you don't have that experience to back you up.
And she still lives with her dad, so that says a great deal about her willingness to even get out there in the world.
How independent are you?
Yeah,
because
that's a
you're
good
in
point.
Texas, and cost of living down south is cheaper. So I'm just saying.
It's all
I'm not in your
relative.
pockets, Meghan,
Right,
but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So before we move on to our next couple, Alexis, you have a special message for our listeners.
I do. Before we go on, we just want to give a huge thank you for watching every week and making us the ESPN of TV talk. We cannot do it without you and your views and your comments. We just love you so much. But we can't continue on giving you these hot shows without your help. So if you're watching, please give us a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. And no matter if you're watching Life After Lockup or any of our wonderful shows here on AfterBuzz TV, make sure you tell a friend, make sure you comment, make sure you continue to support us, because we don't want to talk to ourselves. We want to talk to you. So keep watching, and thank you so much for doing it.
That was a gospel.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
A word.
So let's get into Michael and Sarah now. Michael, okay, so first of all, this episode was called Manipulate the Manipulator. And Sarah thinks that she has this down pat. She feels like she's been manipulated by Michael for 7 years. She knows the game.
Girl.
But Michael's got her paying his health insurance and paying his phone bills that he's using to contact other women. What did you guys think about the scene with Sarah?
Let us not forget his car note.
And the car note.
Car insurance. Like, she literally is taking care of a grown man that is giving her his ass to kiss every chance he gets. At least in the beginning, he was willing to come and see the kids. I felt like there was more of a consistency there. Like, he made an effort.
Because he was fresh out.
Right, because he was fresh out. And he loved,
and he paroled to her house.
And they're beautiful children. Like, the one just got here. They're deliciousness, right? So who wouldn't want to go love those babies up? But clearly, time has let him get real comfortable, and knowing that someone is going to do for you when you aren't willing to do for yourself or contribute to their greater good, why not? You know what I mean? Take full advantage of that. I think it's going to be a rude awakening when she decides to cut everything off. But the fact of the matter is, Ma, look here, sis. It's been 7 years, and you just come to this conclusion. So maybe you should back up on all that patting yourself on the back.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it don't look like you that damn smart to finally come to this conclusion. You venting to your girlfriend like, no more. Girl, it should have been no more when he walked out the door the last time talking about I'll be back and didn't come back.
Should have been no more than when you found out about Meghan.
Yeah.
Exactly. Period.
What do you think, Alexis?
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I really wish I knew the exact time frame between, you know, them deciding that they're gonna break up and now, because, you know, if that's her husband, they're married, they have kids, and he's fresh out of jail. He can't afford, he probably is having a hard time getting a job. He can't afford things. As a wife, you want to help your husband.
Of course.
So that may mean paying the car note. That may mean paying the health insurance. That may mean making sure he has a phone. But if this has been a minute and y'all have been broken up and it's been decided that y'all have broken up and you're still doing it, then you look stupid.
Right.
So my hope is that she was just doing it for her husband and just hasn't gotten around to doing it, and that she actually genuinely, now that she's seeing that he's out here playing and he has all these random women sending him money and he's still going to see Meghan, that she actually is going to put her foot down and cut everything off. But I think that was the thing that was most shocking for me in all this, is I didn't realize that other women were sending him money, including Meghan.
Almost $1,200.
What?
That month alone.
So it's not just him, you know, needing support from his wife. He's a scammer, basically.
I mean, it is what it is, right? He got to make a way somehow. Clearly, he has no gainful employment, so I guess he has to figure out a way to make money and buy tickets to go see side pieces and side pieces daddies.
So, question, and I'll say my piece first. The question is, does Sarah have the right to be mad about Michael, you know, reaching out to women and having communication with other women? I personally feel like...
We know what you're going to say.
No, you might be surprised.
Okay.
I don't know what you're thinking. I personally feel like she does not have that right because they are separated. They've been broken up for quite a while. And just because he's your baby daddy does not mean he's obligated to stay faithful to you and not have communication with other people.
Facts.
Sarah has had this relationship with Meghan, Sarah has had this unhealthy relationship with Michael for 7 years. She knows what he's capable of. She knows this man in and out. She's the one that took it upon herself to take on the responsibilities of paying these bills and getting the phone and all this other stuff, knowing damn well the type of man that he is. So if she really thought that she was going to be paying a phone bill for him and he's not going to be reaching out to other women, if he was able to do that locked up, why wouldn't he do that in the free world?
That's a really good point.
So that's why I don't think she has the right to be mad. What do you guys think?
It's not really about the right so much as it is it right or wrong in the eyes of the big picture? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, so we go back and forth, and I point out to you guys all the time, we're like, we can't believe they would do this. This is all based on feeling. That's what I've constantly underscored, right? Like, they're going after what they feel in that moment. That's why Angela put him out, because she's angry at this moment and what he's done lately. And that's why Homegirl is still paying the stuff, because she still wants to believe that he's going to be a good person and do what he's supposed to do with his family. All of these things contradict what's actually happening. Your brain should override all of this and tell you this is not a good thing. This is not a smart move. This is not a good decision. So to answer your question, no, I don't think that I just think it's really sad that these women allow themselves to be duped, and then when they get there and they see evidence of knowing that this is not the person for you, you still with the shits. You still with the shits. So I think that she deserves everything that's coming to her, quite honestly. But she does have a right.
I don't think she deserves it, but I think she can't play victim.
I don't think she can be mad about him talking to other women because, like you said, they're separated. Technically, they're not together, so he's not necessarily cheating. But I do think she has a right to be mad about the fact that I'm paying for your phone, but you don't even call your kids.
Right.
Yes. Or you are finding a way to get some money, but you're not putting any of that money towards
the children.
That's when I understand and kind of felt bad for her, because, you know, this is, regardless of your dedication to me, because you never were dedicated to me. So why would you be dedicated to me when we're actually not together?
Right.
But you have obligation to your daughters, and he's not fulfilling that. So she should really be more upset about that than him just still talking to Meghan or whatever other girls he is.
Exactly.
Okay. So I want to we have a little bit of time left, and I want to make sure we get to news and gossip and the special segment. So the last couple we're going to talk about is Lacey and Shane, because their marriage is very, very new, and they moved into this new house, and Lacey's still with the games, hiding and sneaking and doing all this stuff when it comes on to John. And it kind of we finally see Shane get mad and reach a breaking point where he's trying to put his foot down, but he's not really being respected. And I think it's because he allowed Lacey to not
get away with that from the day one.
Like he set that standard for himself.
Exactly.
So Lacey's kind of looking like, well, why do I need to care about your feelings? Because you let me get away with it before.
Not only that, can we forget how quickly...
What do you think?
I kind of was surprised in this new season that he was kind of being more of the controlling one to me. He, because she didn't want to move, and he kind of basically made her move. She don't want to have a baby, but he's like, we're going to have a baby. And then when John went down, the way he was talking to her, for me, it kind of felt like a whole new Shane. Like, he was this soft-spoken, kind of just let Lacey run the show type of attitude, and then we get to life after Lockup, and he's like... trying to be the man, and it's like, how can you one step up and try to be the man of the house when you ain't making no money,
no job?
Like, I was so frustrated with her last episode because it's like, you don't want to get your tubes untied and you don't want to have a baby, and you're letting him make you do it, and you the one paying the bills. How does that work?
And it's her health risk,
right?
too.
Exactly.
I think what I was really looking at was just because she made sure that made it into the show, right? Where she said, just so we're clear, everybody watching this, I bought this house. I paid the bills before I got this house. I literally have done all of this on my own with 3 kids. So whatever you think of me, don't think of me, whatever, just know this. I'm the one running this show financially. He literally has no place to be every day, whereas I am bringing in the dough. So with that being said, I mean, a lot of times people feel that way, right? Like that's kind of the going narrative that... people that are the breadwinners in the family should be able to put down the law in terms of everything that goes on. And we've learned that from celebrities on down that that's not the way a relationship works. You can't expect that simply because you're the breadwinner that the other party is going to just fall into line and do whatever. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Shane is a child. Let's start there. He's a baby.
A literal child.
He's a literal 21-year-old, immature, let me pour another drink after another drink after another drink with no job and think that I can come in here and be like, John ain't a part of our lives. Calm down. Yeah. She's manipulative. She's extreme. She likes this drama. This is what she does. It's what she's always done. And John said that from Jump Street. She gonna come back to me, bruh. I already know what it is because this is what she likes. She stirs the pot and then she steps back and sees where everything falls and what happens, and then she inserts herself where she feels like it's necessary to do so. But she's a sneaky little thing. She really is.
Speaking of manipulation, it also makes me think about the conversation she had with her dad, John, when she was saying that she doesn't want to tell Shane about her concerns about John because she doesn't want to bother Shane.
Him. And that's something.
And basically making it seem like she doesn't want to disturb his peace of mind.
Be his pieces.
First of all, Lacey was born a man's headache.
Exactly.
Okay,
let's start there.
But the thing is, it has nothing to do with her not looking out for his best interest. It's just the fact that she doesn't want to have a fight because she knows she's dead ass wrong.
Right.
For still having some type of communication with John, because I'm sure there was a point in time where she told Shane that he's cut off, especially once they both said, I do.
Yeah.
And that's why she called him out, calling him insecure and jealous. And then Shane says, I'm not jealous, I'm territorial. I mean, is there a difference between that?
No, I don't think there is.
You think there's a difference, Kittie?
I mean, I think there's a slight difference in that jealousy means that, just like Shane pointed out, ironically enough, I can't believe I'm quoting Shane, but he did say jealousy comes from the person having something that you want. You've achieved a certain level of success, or you've been able to get the wife when you wanted the wife. I got the wife. I got the prize. What am I jealous of? True. I'm territorial over the prize that I have. I have you now.
Okay.
You are mine.
That makes sense.
Right? So you should should be mine free and clear. I shouldn't have to worry about any other man, especially this man that, from what I understand, caused you nothing but grief in the past.
That you were ready to get rid of.
Exactly. You fought this cat and told him off because of me and the life that we're supposedly about to embark on. So how dare you throw him back in my face? She knew what she was doing. All that trying to keep it a secret and trying to keep the peace and didn't want to argue. Oh, she wanted to argue. She just wanted the argument to be on her terms. Because there's no way you can posit. Her father looked at her like she was freaking purple. Like, what do you mean you're still talking to this man? What is wrong with you, Chico? She just loves the drama. It's unfortunate.
Well, while we're on Shane and Lacey and John, let's get to news and gossip. Because we have some juicy, disturbing news.
Hey guys, it's Alexis Brown with the news.
I hate her so much. Go, Alexis.
All right, we got definitely some juicy, but like you said, devastating news. Following this episode, when we kind of saw Shane show some abusive tendencies, we got a very kind of disturbing post from Lacey on Instagram. The first was this picture of what looks like a bite mark or bruises or something. And the caption says, let me go to the picture. Basically, the caption is saying, "Karma's a bitch. Thanks, y'all. Y'all wished me the best. Bet y'all are happy." I'm assuming by y'all, she means the viewers. I don't know about y'all, but I never once...
Right, why would we want that for you?
I never wanted that for you, and I never got that impression from Shane at all.
Right.
But then after she posted that picture...
Allegedly Shane.
Right, exactly. And then after she posted that picture, she said, "I won't stop communicating with my BFF, John Love after Lockup, because he might have addiction issues, but he's never put his hands on me ever. I love this man with all of my heart."
You see?
So, like Bree said, we don't know if Shane was the one who put these bruises on Lacey, but it was safe to kind of assume that because she posted it following the show where he showed abusive tendencies, and then now she's defending John and saying he never put his hands on her, kind of insinuating that maybe Shane would have.
Yeah.
So prayers for Lacey. We don't really know the full situation, but I mean, let us know what you think it was in the comments.
And if you're thinking about going to Shane's profile to throw shade and cuss him out, he turned his comments off.
So there you go. I think it's a sad situation that she's able to just jump from... That's what she does. It's like her whole situation is to jump from leapfrog to leap. You know what I mean? Like, this guy did me dirty, so I'm leaving you, John. Kiss my ass. What you gonna do? Ready to fight him in the parking lot only to go and marry Shane, and then what? Literally like 6 months later... Not even. Now you're throwing him under the bus, and he's a bad guy. Granted, he put his hands on you, but it doesn't matter. With this chick, there's never any equal footing. You just know that she's going to create some type of drama that always has her on top.
Well,
she's just selfish.
I don't want to make it seem like we're blaming the victim, even though Lacey,
I apologize.
like Lacey,
that way.
Lacey does have a tendency to be messy. However, I do hope that this is not a situation where it seems like she's milking it for the views and I guess clickbait, as we can call it, because she posted that picture and then she deleted it, and then she went on her Instagram page and started talking about follow my fan page for some juicy gossip, and it's just like, are you using something like this to promote, or is this a serious cry for help or are you bringing awareness? I would just hope that she's not using something like this in a negative way. But like Alexis said, prayers out to you, Lacey, and your entire family. John, seek help. Shane, seek help. Let's get into some redemption stories.
Nice segue. Thank you so much. So my redemption stories kind of go along with what I've been talking about in the past, last season. This is a new young lady named Renata Hall. She was incarcerated in 2006 for 3.5 years. Check this out, you guys, as a story. This is the craziness. So it appears that she and 3 of her friends, all young lesbians, were verbally and physically attacked by a male perpetrator. And when she retaliated and she and her friends fought back, unfortunately, it ended up with this guy getting his ass whipped. But it sounded like he needed that. But the courts obviously didn't feel that way. He said things to them, taunting them like, "I'll F you straight."
Wow.
Exactly. Just nonsense. And so a fight broke out. And the group called the Lesbian Wolf Pack by the media, gotta love it, was arrested, and they did 3.5 years of time. It's interesting because instead of her coming out the victim and saying, you know, this was wrong and it shouldn't have happened to me, instead she set her sights on becoming a better individual and really just becoming the best version of herself. While she is a student on the path towards an associate degree in human services at the Borough of Manhattan Community College, she's also speaking at university campuses around the country about her case and others with similar outcomes. There's also a documentary, which I'm so happy for sis, Out in the Night, featuring Hill and the rest of the New Jersey Four. Interesting that they wrote that coattail, but I mean, it's applicable, right? So it works, and I think that it's a good thing. She travels to speak about the film and the right to self-defense. And that's what it sounds like on the outside looking in, that she incurred. This guy was doing them dirty. They didn't do anything to deserve this, and they had to deal with the messiness of it. So she did her time, and now she's out. And the good news is she's not allowing that to dampen her spirits. She's actually kind of grown from it. So big ups to Miss Renata.
All right. Thank you, Kittie.
Amen.
So let's get our predictions out the way.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Alexis, Lexi Fierce, what you got?
I am predicting a big blowout with Michael and Sarah. I hope she digs in his ass because he deserves it. And then I hope also, I'm predicting that Meghan will find out about the other girls he's been talking to and that other people have been sending him money in addition to her. I'm also predicting that there's going to be a blow up between Shane and John, but Shane is a scaredy cat, which I've said before, and I think it even more now that there is talk that he may be hitting women. That just validates that I think he's a scary man. John's probably going to intimidate him, and he's going to act big and bad, but nothing's going to happen. Angela and Tony, we already know they get married, so I'm anticipating them making up by the next episode, honestly, because she has no willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say ditto, but ditto. I don't see any difference in it. I think the saddest part of all is, it's all sad, but, excuse me, Meghan kind of doesn't understand the mechanics of how this is supposed to go. So, yeah, she's 30 years old, but it just seems like she's a child in her own head in terms of like the naivete and what she believes is like, no, he's going to do right, Daddy. You know how I know? Because he told me. You know what I mean? Like, my heart goes out to her that she doesn't have the gumption or whatever, or that she hasn't had the experience to see that other men have, you know, doing her dirty would give her more, I guess, of a backbone. So, yeah, I feel bad for her.
So your prediction is the same as Lexi's,
I'm sorry.
basically.
Yes. She's like, get to it.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. My prediction is that, let's see, I lost it.
Good.
Can't remember what my prediction was.
No.
But I know we're going to see Tracy and Clint next episode. I guess my prediction is that Sarah and Mike is going to get into it as well. I'm your host, Breanna Chianne. I can't even get into the rest of it because it's gone. So I'm just going to leave out on this note. I'm Breanna Chianne. You can follow me on Instagram at IamB_Chianne, CHIANNE. Where can they find you, lovely ladies?
I'm on Instagram as Kittie Kaboom, KITTIEKABOOM.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Talk to me, y'all, especially on Twitter, because I talk mess on Twitter. You can do it at I am Lexi Fierce. That's IAMLEXIFIERCE.
And make sure you follow our fan page on Instagram. That's at we.loveafterlockup.
Check us out.
Check us out. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.